All right, Altars by Kronos could bring you a top 8 match here. I'm excited about this one. I can't wait to watch this, but first, before we get into it, let's watch the intro video for Four Horsemen.
Greetings, old school magic blades, and welcome to the Four Horsemen.
All right, so this is Four Horsemen. If you're not familiar with it, this is one of the top 8s for Tournament 25. You'll see the players and the sets on the bottom. If you are not familiar with Four Horsemen, I would definitely get familiar with it. It is an amazing format with some really awesome people. So let's get down to the match here. Now, I did skip ahead of a few things for you. I always usually do to save time. Me and my center here, so excuse a little noise in the background if you hear it. Hopefully it does not upset you or bother you. So Tim K had to mulligan twice already. So he's technically down. And we have a scrub and a pass. So let's see what Tim's got going on here. All right. Badlands and pass. Another up into a Fellware Stone. Okay, good. Typical Four Horsemen here. We're doing a slow start with some ramp. There's a swamp. He's got double black. But let's see. Oh, we got bite. Okay, what do we? Oh, I love that dancer. That is a 1/5 flying artifact. Does not do a lot of damage, but stops literally just about everything. We answer with a Penalhaven and Tome. That's awesome. I know it does not have a lot of cards in hand, but as soon as he starts drawing some extra lands, you can definitely filter out useless cards or dead cards. Let's see what we got a lot of mana on the side here. What are we gonna do in here? Divine Offering, okay. Bad for Tim. Now at 23 life. There's an untap. Alright, so skipped ahead of a few little parts here for you. Alright, we have a city. I believe that's the card that makes lands 1/1 creatures. I can't quite read it from my view here. I expect to see some lands starting to disappear very drastically here. We're going to Spirit Link. No, looks like we're changing our mind. Alright, we're going to Spirit Link. I think he's, yep, City Brass. Yeah, if they're creatures, that's what I would do. He only has 4 mana, so every time he taps it, you're going to gain a life. Alright, so we got a Maze. And looks like we're attacking for 1. Alright, let's see what Tim's got. Because he played that with only 4 lands on the table, I'm assuming he has a way to destroy a bunch of lands. So seeing red there, I almost wonder if he has a Pyroblast that can wipe out like 4 lands or something. Or possibly a Witch with a Pinger. There's a lot of possibilities there. Chain of Lightning. I'm assuming he's taking a land out. Yep. Oof. Yeah, I was thinking that earlier when he had the 2 double black. I assume Oubliette was definitely a card. That is a very powerful, awesome card. I still want to make a fun deck with Enchantress one day and Oubliettes. Just black and green and just have fun with it. Underworld Dreams. There's a lot of black enchantments I can play. Let's see here. I think we're passing here. Oh, all right. There's a discussion because yeah, he tried to play an Avoid Fate, but you can't actually play that card in the manner, so you can't do it to Oubliette. So you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. I'm assuming the Flying Scimitar. You're gonna lose that card. There we go. Fix that one. Yeah. So the cool thing about this form, there's a lot of fun jank here. All right, we have a forest. This guy might be a little bit mana flooded there. I'm not sure what he got in hand, but I mean, it's not a problem right now because if he loses a bunch of lands, at least he's got some extra to play with. Now, there's another land. So if he has a Pyroblast, technically he can wipe out basically almost all his lands. Oh boy. Or Pyroblast, Pyrotechnics. Yeah, so now it's 4 damage. I kind of expected him to tap the Bayou. But he must have another play with it. But if he tapped the Bayou, he could wipe out all the lands and strip, say, the forest. So basically, he could take him. Not quite sure what happened there, but I didn't see any of those lands make it to the graveyard. I feel like one might have accidentally hopped on the top of his pile in frustration, but I can't quite tell. Well, there's a Brass Man. Well, that's good. But he does have a strip, so... Yep. There's the Land Killer. Now, I played against decks like this. I had a lot of other ways to get mana, but there's a real fast scoop. I think he had plenty of chance and plenty of opportunity there, because we'll have to see what happens. But if he had green, I'm assuming he had witches and stuff like that, so his Fellware Stone could have still gave him mana. I don't know. We'll never really know. So let's go on to game number 2. Alright, so we're back to game number 2, but what I meant by other ways to get mana, so I have unique ways to get mana, and I don't really need a lot of lands to get them. So typically what I do is I play Priest of Yawgmoth, I play Deep Shadow, Elves Deep Shadow, and I play 4 stones. So as long as I have like 1 or 2 mana sources, I can pretty much ramp myself anywhere. Because as long as I have an artifact to start on the board, I can keep recycling for mana. So when I played those decks with mine, I was able to kill them because I ended up getting Triskelions out. And I would sack the Triskelion after I blew up 3 of their lands for 6 new mana, playing another Triskelion for free and blowing up the lands. So basically I would blow up 6 lands, and then I would use Hell's Caretaker to get it back. So I was able to defeat different things with the creatures like that. So, but this is what I mean by ramp. So there is a lot of ramp in this format. It's just not necessarily in the ways you would typically see. Same with removal. Let's check game number 2 here. So far we just have the dual lands on one side and the elf on the other, but he does have a city. So the elf plus city does equal a lot of damage. Yeah, that's one of the cards I was actually messing around in my head about putting with the goofy Enchantress deck. I was thinking about using Enchantress with black, because black enchantments and green enchantments all have major purposes. I'm not playing enchantments just to play enchantments. Every enchantment I would play would have a purpose, like blights. They replace sinkholes. So basically, you can have a black and green, pretty nasty deck with quite a bit of enchantments in it. Now, if I'm attacking your land base with blights, that means paralyzes are also pretty powerful. Oh boy. Alright, so there's a witch, and we have 3 mana. He only has 1 green source so far, but if he can get another plane out, that's going to be bad. Looks like he's... Yeah, it looks like he's a little desperate there. He's going to remove the witch. Now, technically, that is still in play. It's just phased out. So, technically, if Tim were to destroy a permanent, which are definitely spells in here, you can destroy the oubliette and get your creature back. But I feel like sacrificing your blight land with only 2 left on the table might end up hurting you quite a bit. Yeah. Yep, there's a strip. So you did get rid of the pinger, but I haven't really seen a massive threat, so if you guys have some thoughts on this, let me know, but I don't know if I would have oublieted at that moment. There's a Taiga. See, now he's pretty fixed on mana. So, yep. Oh, and there's a scoop already. Okay. He didn't really have a way of destroying lands at the moment, but let's see what his next couple cards are. So he had 3 turns before he could really destroy a land. And at least 5 turns would have only been 1 land destroyed. So I mean, Tim might have, you know, with the Bloodlust could have done some damage and stuff like that. So would have done some damage to him, but I don't know if the game was technically over. There's a Brass Man. So that would have caused some challenges for Tim. Because Brassman is a 1-drop, 1/3. I didn't really get a good chance to see what was going on there. But if you look, Tim's laying out his cards here. He really only, in a whole group of threats there, he really only had 1 direct damage spell and a bunch of ramps. So yeah, see the deck I'm looking at there, which are just Skellions and Coffins, it seemed very similar to a black and green deck I was playing. I thought about doing a white splash to it, but I never got to really fine-tune it and do it. So I hope you enjoyed this game. They were pretty short and quick games, but I'm letting it kind of play out here. I'll fast forward for you. Usually these guys, or at least one of them, will lay out a lot of their deck for you. Alright, so there's a quick idea. We're going to back up here real quick. But here's some, looks like sideboard options that Tim was doing. You'll see the Artifact Blasts. They're great in this format. You'll see the Scavenger Folk. So if you're looking for removal, there you go. You'll also see another bunch of creatures down there that Tim uses to get rid of things and to ramp up. Bloodlusts are very scary in this format, especially since you have Ball Lightnings. If you pop out the mana, yes, that's 10 damage right off the bat. That's pretty scary in this format when there are no lightning bolts for instant removal. Alright, so here is Tim's deck. Now the deck photos are released, but like I said, sometimes the players aren't kind enough to lay out their decks. So I can take an easy quick look for you guys here. So if you wanted to look at the decks and kind of what's going on here, you can look at a lot and see what's happening. But Tim is one of the great builders in Four Horsemen. So a lot of these cards are some staples. But I hope you enjoyed the match and have a wonderful day.